Hello, and welcome to a new storyline from White Album 2's CODA. So, here we're going to be going through Setsuna's true route. Now first you have to get through basically the first chunk of CODA, which is the same in every route. So I do recommend, if you have not yet seen the first part of CODA, I recommend starting with Kazusa True. Watch about halfway through it, and I will put it in the description just to let you know how far to get. Watch that chunk first. I am going to be showing what selections you need to make at the crossroads, at the decision-making points, and then after that we'll be going through fully Setsuna's route. So, continuing from the very first crossroad, the very first question in which you have to make an answer, what you need to do to get onto Setsuna True is you need to be completely honest and dedicated to Setsuna. Basically, you need to say, I plan on proposing to her soon.
近いうちに向こうが OK してくれたらだけど
It's painful, I'm sorry. But it's good to be honest right up. Just be upfront. After making my decisive declaration to Kazusa, my eyes looked toward the closet. Inside the pocket of one of the coats placed inside is a particular item that I'll propose to Setsuna with. The magic ring gives me courage. The courage to finally face the lingering feeling from my past. The courage to end this adventure.
よかったな。本当によかった。お前にはもったいなさすぎる相手じゃないか。
そう思う。俺も。
本当にいい子だもんな、刹那。お前の私のしたことを許すなんて。
ああ。
世界中探してもあんな素敵な恋人はいないぞ。可愛くて優しくて心が綺麗で一途で、誰かみたいに逃げたりしない。
分かってるよ。
Kazusa is singing Setsuna's praises. She's giving the two of us her blessing. She's saying words that are fitting for someone who's Setsuna's friend. She's acting in a way that's appropriate toward her friend's boyfriend.
おめでとう。
うん。
そっか。そっか。
Poor Kazusa. It's heartbreaking, but at least it's like you tell her early on she doesn't have that much time to have hope, you know? But Kazusa hasn't realized the fatal contradiction lurking within her upright attitude.
お幸せにな。なんて言うまでもないことだけどさ。
Setsuna is nearby. Yet Kazusa has yet to utter a single word about wanting to meet her. Even though she can contact her at any time, even though Setsuna would come running here if only I told her about Kazusa. Despite that, Kazusa stubbornly refuses to ruin the time we're currently spending together.
カズサもおめでとう。すごいじゃないか。ジェバンニコンクール。
So basically it ends up being the same as the regular route from here. So we'll stop off and I'll come back at the next crossroads, the next question selection. And we're going to be honest and we're going to be good at Setsuna. So, see you then. So, welcome back to the next decision in the game. So, after leaving Vienna, after meeting up with Kazusa on Christmas Eve, we have to choose whether we need to tell the truth to Setsuna or lie to her. And this being Setsuna's route, really the best thing to do here is to actually tell her the truth. And tell her that you met Kazusa, so... What am I doing? Why am I thinking I can cheer Setsuna up right now? Even though I betrayed Setsuna once again, even though I've kept silent about something of unparalleled importance.
違うんだよ、セツナ。
何が？
Had I only told her from the start, I wouldn't be tormented by this unease I know the reason for. And Setsuna wouldn't be tormented by this unease she doesn't know the reason for.
あいつと会うことが問題じゃないんだ。
But it's already too late. An entire week too late.
あいつと会ったことが問題だったんだ。
Oh. Coming clean is important, though. We already reunited long ago. The fact that I've hid this from Setsuna all this time is the final nail in the coffin for the sin I've committed.
いつ？どこで？
ストラスブール。
With that, it seems that Setsuna understands everything now. After that, just like how people tend to talk at length when confessing to their crimes, I told her about my week-long sin. I told her about how the job I was suddenly given on the 25th was the widely talked about exclusive interview with the young pianist. I told her that I didn't know it involved Kazusa until I had already landed. I told her that Kazusa didn't know it involved me either, which isn't the problem. The problem is you chose to keep it a secret deliberately, and then lied about it. I told her that on the morning of the 25th, after my morning stroll and breakfast with Setsuna, I went to see Kazusa. I told her that when she was walking the streets alone, I was with Kazusa. And here is another crossroads that is very important, and because you want to be completely honest with Setsuna, this is where you need to tell her straight up. My reunion with Kazusa was on Christmas Eve, because you lied and broke the 1-week rule. The wounded tourist happened to be none other than Kazusa. The reason I couldn't attend Christmas Mass with her was because of Kazusa. The reason I broke our 1-week rule, which we had kept for almost 2 years, was because of Kazusa.
ごめん、セツナ。本当にごめん。
That might have been a superfluous addition. Perhaps nothing more than a meaningless revelation. Well, if you're gonna be honest, you need to be honest. You know, there's certain things, from other routes specifically, that I think you can leave out. But this one's kind of important. On our first ever overseas trip together, I happened to have a reunion with Kazusa. That's all. Something I never told Setsuna when we were there. Something I kept a secret between Kazusa and me. Nothing more. But to Setsuna, it's a far too cruel betrayal to say it's nothing more. But I tell her anyway. I can't keep it from her. Without knowing for whose sake, and without knowing what I'm conveying.
そっか。
At some point, our hands had separated. Our course toward my place stops, and we look at each other in silence in the cold breeze.
あの時のごめんって、そういうことだったんだね。
Yeah, because apologizing crazily out of the blue is kind of suspicious.
ごめん。
Setsuna's a smart woman. She's noticed the changes in my demeanor today. But that's all she's finally come to notice just now.
春樹くん、ずっと悩んでたんだね。私が傷つくと思って、言えずにいたんだね。
She hadn't noticed that the change in my demeanor had started as far back as that day.
彼女、失格だね。彼氏のこと、全部わかってるなんて思いやがって。
違う、セツナは悪くない。ただ、俺が。
でもね、でも。
私が悪いって分かってるんだけど、春樹くんが話せないのも当然だなって思うけれど。
Okay, stop right there. How can you say it's your fault? Your boyfriend meets up with his former lover while you're dating, and you're like, I know it's my fault, but, like, it's not your fault. Please, grow a backbone. Setsuna is still feeling tense.
それでもやっぱり話してほしかったなって。そう思っちゃう心を止められないよ。
It's just that her tension is now facing the other direction.
私だってカズさんに会いたかったのに、久しぶりに話をしたかったのに。
If I'd told her that Kazusa was nearby back then, I'm sure that Setsuna would have wanted to meet her.
3人で会いたかったのに、夜通し思い出を語り合いたかったのに。
Had she met Kazusa, there's no doubt she'd have been overcome with emotion. She'd have cried and laughed with a vigor strong enough to never separate them again.
でもそんな風に思ってたのはやっぱり私だけなのかな。
And I'd have looked at the two of them with a smile, but at the same time I'd have been tortured by regret and a suffocating feeling.
カズサは私になんか会いたくないのかな。春樹くんはカズサと会ってるところを私に見られたくなんかないのかな。
That's a sad thought. Kazusa would have talked to Setsuna about their fond memories together, but at times she'd have gone silent with a pained look on her face.
そもそも私だって本当にそう思ってたのかな。
And Setsuna, when she'd said her farewell to Kazusa and we returned to just being the two of us again, she'd have noticed her own deep wounds and cried without knowing why.
ごめん、考えがうまくまとまらない。今春樹くんと笑って話せない。
Yes, like she is now. I'm not sure if it's any accurate, but that's how I imagine a reunion between the three of us would look.
今日は帰るね。
Honestly, good for you.
せつな。
That's why I couldn't tell Setsuna back then. I knew that no matter what I told her, it'd turn out like this. Yeah, well, the thing is, sometimes bad things happen and uncomfortable things happen. That doesn't mean you can just lie about them and they go away. You need to be honest, especially with someone you plan to marry, and get through it together.
しばらく一人で考えたいの。考えがまとまったら連絡するから。
All while knowing that the longer I kept the secret, the deeper the wound would be once I did tell her.
だからその。
わかった。待ってる。せつなが連絡くれるまでこっちからはしないから。
ごめんね。
それは俺の。いや、おやすみ。
おやすみ。
Setsuna turns around, going down the road in the opposite direction to my apartment, toward the station.
ねえ、春樹くん。今年もよろしくね。
But she turns around once more and forces a smile.
ああ、こっちこそ。
Yet at the sight of those eyes on the verge of tears, I can do nothing but wave my hand back at her. Oh, Setsuna. Sort out your feelings. Haruki's gonna take a lot longer to sort out his feelings.
おかえりなさい。ハワイはいかがでしたか？
And Haruki's returned to work.
そうですか。楽し
北原
んでいらっしゃいましたか？
おい北原
So from here, it's more or less the same as the regular route. So we're gonna go ahead and skip to the next crossroads, the next question, which will alter the path. So, see you there. So, welcome to the next decision. We've skipped over a number of days, and now, after promising that you wouldn't contact Setsuna until she was ready, you have the option of, well, contacting her or not. And to be on Setsuna's true route, you have to call her. You have to put in the effort to repair your relationship. So, that is, I want to hear Setsuna's voice. I pressed the button. I broke my promise with Setsuna. I swore to her that I wouldn't call her until she forgave me. This isn't something beyond my control. I can make no excuses. Right now, I'm piling one awful action over another. But even then, I want to hear Setsuna's voice. No, I'm in trouble if I don't hear her voice. Hey, Setsuna? It looks like even in Japan, I'm having to interview Kazusa. It's apparently some kind of exclusive coverage. We'll mostly be alone together for as long as she's in Japan. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Hey, Setsuna? Stop me already. Lament over it. Chastise me over it. Give me a reason to say no. A reason that isn't for Kazusa's sake, but for your sake, Setsuna. Honestly, I should have refused this long ago. I don't care about how important it is for his career.
Otsukare. それじゃあ今日はこの辺で。
私、まだまだいけますけど。
いや、でももう4時間になるけど、それも休憩なしで。
She's such a demon.
そうでしたっけ？
そうでしたっけって。
歌い出すと底なしだな、相変わらず。
本番まであと1週間しかないんだから、この曲までは今日中に仕上げちゃいませんか？
別にそんなに無理しなくていいんだよ。せつなちゃんは今日が初練習なんだし。
でも私、本番まであと1回しか練習参加できないから。
それは俺たちの都合であって、せつなちゃんにそこまで無理を強いるのは。
そうそう、参加してくれるだけでもすっごく申し訳ないんだから。それというのも今日一と勝也の野郎が。
いいんですよ。今私、すっごく歌いたい気分なんです。忘れたいことや思い出したいことがたくさんあるから。
What a vaguely deep answer to give somebody.
でも今はもう会社勤めなのに、明日出勤なんだろ？
いいじゃん。せつながやりたいって言ってるんだから、気の済むまで歌わせてあげてよ。
友、お前妙に嬉しそうだな。
She always is.
そうかな。そんなことないですよ。
ったく、タチの悪いファンだ。っていうかマネージャー？
いいの、せつなちゃん。あいつと関わってると気がついたら一緒に芸能界デビューさせられてるよ。
そんな冗談は置いといて。さあ、もう一度頭からお願いします。
はいはい、こっちとしては願ってもないことで。じゃ、行くぞ。
Good for her. Bad for Haruki, but good for her. In the end, my childish desire to push the decision onto Setsuna didn't materialize. I don't know if she chose not to respond, knowing who was calling her, or if she just didn't notice. Or yeah, maybe she was just busy. But the result is clear. My indecision has been denied. It's an overbearing result telling me to bear the responsibility by myself.
北原、どうしたんだ？何かトラブルか？
お休み中のところすいません、浜田さん。
嘘。どうしよう。
No, poor Setsuna. And she's the type of person that absolutely would have picked up the phone had she seen it. It was just she was busy.
せつな？
As adults are, and you should understand that.
春樹くんだ。へえ、よかったじゃん。今回は向こうから降りてきたんだ。どうしたのかな？自分からはかけないって言ってたのにな。
Look at her smile though, she's so happy. I feel so bad for her.
別れ話だったりして。
Okay, or that.
どうも。
You pick up that phone, sir. Pick up that phone. Ow. Ah. I noticed Setsuna's missed call after waking up from a deep slumber. It's 4 a.m. on Monday. But I didn't call her back after all.
やります。東間和沙の特集記事、俺に担当させてください。
You idiot! I hate this guy. Come on. You were so close. Because I have already lost my last line of defense. That being Setsuna stopping me. Listen, if you depend on your significant other to prevent you from cheating, not that the coverage is cheating, but like he knows where it's going. He's not stupid. If you expect them to stop you from cheating, that means you're a horrible person who can't even control themselves enough to decide that for themselves. And now he's like, not putting all of the blame on Setsuna, but he is here, and that's wrong. Stupid.
違う。ゆうべ寝すぎたから眠れないだけなんだ。母さんがあんなこと言うからだ。ホームシックなんて違う。だってもう私には帰るところなんかない。
Oh, poor Kazusa. I mean, I do. I still feel bad for everybody in the situations, but...
いやー、引き受けてくれて助かった。これでアンサンブルの編集長にも顔が立つ。
So, he's accepted his job. Things are going to be the same for a while onward, so I'll come back when something new occurs. See you then. So, welcome back. After Kazusa ends up moving into the apartment next door, which is a horrible decision to begin with, you do come to a new scene where Setsuna is standing outside your apartment.
いないか。帰ろう。
She's trying. She wants to reconnect. But not pushing hard enough, and neither is Haruki, and that's the problem. I told you it would cause me trouble, didn't I? If Kazusa's right next to me, I'm the one who won't be able to fall asleep this time. And from here it ends up more or less the same, but just the idea that Setsuna's right there, she's so close, and Kazusa is so close, and Haruki is so close, the three of them are literally within, like, 30 seconds of each other always gets me. In a slightly different situation, things could end up wildly different. But for now, it's going to be the same. So we'll see you on the next new part. And welcome to the next decision point in Setsuna's ending. So, in most of the other endings for Kazusa's route, you have to say, I can't go. For Setsuna's route, you have to say, I'm not going. And it's a very, very small difference between those two sentences, but it does make a big difference in which route you end up getting. So, let's move forward.
なんでだよ。セツナが歌うんだぞ。お前、昔からあいつの歌大好きだったじゃないか。
過去形じゃないぞ。今でも大好きだ。
The answer to her question was so obvious that I almost got a bit moody in my answer. Because it's obvious that I love all the music played by those close to me.
だったら行けよ。どうして妙な意地を張るんだよ。
今は大事な仕事中だ。しばらくは自分のことは後回しだよ。
Oh yeah, you're giving it 110%.
それって、私のせいでいけないって意味か。
なんてな。実は今、冷戦中なんだ。セツナから連絡が来るまで会わないって約束なんだよ。
Don't lie. Like, yeah, that would have been true, but then you contacted her, and then she contacted you back, and then you decided not to contact her again. So, honestly, this doesn't hold up in this route at all.
どういうことだ？
I avoided Kazusa's question in order to negate her guilt. In exchange, I exposed the circumstances between Setsuna and me. Even when I tried to hide it, this is the destination I've arrived at due to my poor conversational abilities and my unstable feelings. A topic that has no place in our 5-year-long history. Something that happened only recently. To be precise, it's something that started on Christmas Eve. An accumulation of a small dispute I had with Setsuna. A small dispute. Pretty sure meeting up with your former lover who you cheated on her with on Christmas Eve on vacation internationally is more than a small dispute, but maybe that's just me. Because I didn't tell her about Kazusa until we were back home, I ended up breaking our 1-week rule. Now we haven't met for 10 whole days. I haven't even heard her voice.
やっぱり私のせいじゃないか。
全然違うだろ。俺が勝手に話さなかっただけだ。
だってあの時、私がお前を追わなければ、私がお前に声をかけなければ。
Well, there's a lot of if-onlys in this storyline. It's not only your fault.
会う前から取材は決まってたんだ。それは関係ないよ。
けど、せめてセツナとミサに行けたのに、そこまでこじれることなかったのに。
嬉しかった。再会できて。
Normally, that would have been nothing but a lie to ease Kazusa's guilt. It shouldn't have reflected my true feelings.
だから、カズさんのせいじゃない。俺が悪いんだ。いつまで経っても、セツナを安心させてやれない俺が。
だったらなんでこんな仕事を受けるんだよ。お前、バカなのか？
A resounding yes, he is.
うるさいな。
She probably knows that people become unreasonably angry when hit with the truth.
私のそばにいて、私のわがまま叶え続けて。そんなの、余計セツナを傷つけるだけだろ。
Yet I still couldn't leave you be. I couldn't stand seeing you suffer. I wanted to help you. Yeah, well, in this world, you can't help everyone. And Maybe you could have helped her as a friend, but it's just she loves you too much to be able to maintain that friendship.
大丈夫。さっき言っただろ。俺たちの気持ちが揺らぐことはもうないって。
But of course, I can't tell her that. If I tell Kazusa that, she will suffer. And I can't bear to see Kazusa suffer. Kazusa turns off the recorder. In other words, the interview is over. All that is left is for her to gather up the equipment and bid the interviewee farewell. It's already past midnight. It has long surpassed the hour where it's appropriate for someone to be in the apartment of a woman living by herself.
刹那、綺麗になってるんだろうな。当時からお前にはもったいなかったけど。
それは保証する。
そこまでのろけるか。
事実だよ。会ってみればわかる。
I do think I'm being a bit excessive in my praise of Setsuna, but even then, those around me used to keep telling me that I undervalued Setsuna more than anyone else. That's the understatement of the century. Okay, so from here, it remains more or less the same, and it's a good place for us to stop for now. So, thank you so much for being here with me on this episode. It's mostly just going through what you have to do to get onto Setsuna's roots, but we will continue that in the next one. So till then, hope you take care. See you!